Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Hi, I'm at Rejoice Christian Bookstore in Mission Viejo, and after I did the podcast, I was driving home and I thought, I started to tell a story about Missy and a nurse, and I got just the first part of it. I never finished it, and I thought, boy, that's an important story. I'd like to finish that. So we're just going to add this link on and see if we can finish that story. If you recall, during the story, I said that the day before Missy died, a nurse come in, and Missy sat right up in bed, as sick as she was, and took the oxygen out of her nose that she had, and she said, "I'm no fool. I'm a Christian. You should be too." And it surprised all of us. We thought, what in the world? Where'd that come from? Because all the nurses in the hospital just love Missy. The doctors, the nurses, they decorated a room. They'd come in even when they weren't the head nurse. They'd come in and say hello to her, sometimes come in and pray with her, sometimes it's just to come in and hug her. So it was really funny that Missy reacted in that way. Fast forward about 17 years. About 2 years after Missy went to be with the Lord, Joy, my wife, wanted to find some way that she could do the same thing that Missy did by spreading the good news of Jesus Christ. And she had the opportunity to open a bookstore, a Christian bookstore in San Juan Capistrano. Fast forward again 15 years later, a lady come walking in the bookstore, took a look at Joy and kind of turned around and walked out. And that happens sometimes. Sometimes they don't realize it's a Christian bookstore. They think maybe it's secular books, and they just, they walk in and walk out. But Joy's come home that night. She says, that was strange because I had some kind of feeling about that lady, but I didn't know what it was. And she says, I don't know why she just come in and walked out. Well, the very next day, the same lady came back in. And she walked right up to Joy and said, "Do you remember me?" Joy says, quite frankly, no. You look kind of familiar, but no. She says, I was the nurse that took care of your daughter while she was in the hospital. And she says, your daughter said something to me just the day before she died that's been with me for 15, 17 years. And Joy says, what was that? She says, I don't know if you recall or not, but she told me that she was no fool. She was a Christian, and that I ought to be too. And she says, I just want to tell you that 2 weeks ago, because of your daughter, and because I've been thinking about that for all these years, I became a Christian and gave my life to the Lord. I thought that was an important part because Missy's legacy still lives on. And in fact, 2 days ago, my son posted a prayer request on Facebook for Joy. She's going through some physical problems. And I was surprised at all the comments, and even about Missy was on there, and the faith that Missy had. And so Missy's legacy still lives on, and praise the Lord for that. God bless you as you spread the good news of Jesus Christ. Keep that legacy going.